Yo, yo. Coming on, stream going live. We got street level spirituality hanging with. Thanks for joining us today. I'll pull up my stream here. And it says I'm live. I'm already live. It goes live before it says it's live. So I always have to just kind of blabble and be like, yo, 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 yo. Aquarius, what the fuck is up? Shit's going down. You're all about the people rising up, shit happening, getting innovative, looking into the future. It's all about you. Let's see, Aquarius, thanks for coming to hang out with Hangin With. This is June 2020, where we go over your astrological transits and weather for the month and do a tarot reading just for you. I just realized I didn't even set up my there we go. Didn't even set up my camera for the tarot card reading, but simple enough. All I do is pull over my red velvet fabric, put the keyboard on it, and we're done. Anyway, doing it a little different today. I'm doing this in broad daylight. Usually I do this at nighttime with colored lights. So thanks for joining me. Look, I got this beautiful trees outside. It's really nice. Yeah, it's good. How are you guys doing, Aquarius? Like I said, it's crazy out there. First we got this virus thing. Now we got protests. Everyone's freaking out. I'm just doing this right before the beginning of June. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Been a lot of time of inner reflection, and now people are stepping up and saying, I want things to be different. It's a good time to be alive. A good time to cultivate peace from within, right? So it's so easy to look out there outside in the world and go into our news feed on Facebook and people regurgitating these fearful speaking points and wanting you to get introduced into the hype with them, right? But the spiritual work right now is about, obviously we want transformation in society, but real transformation comes when we create harmony and peace from within ourselves, right? And then it extends outward in all our actions, and society is transformed. We can't continue to be angry and aggressive toward society because we're angry and aggressive about them being angry and aggressive, right? It just keeps this cycle. So it can feel somewhat illogical, but we need to work within the domain that we actually have power over, which is our behavior, our actions, right? And when we transform ourselves individually from within side, again, society transforms. So that said, Aquarius, thanks for listening to my yapping. That said, let's get into your astro weather for June 2020. These are just general things happening. Oh yeah, same thing here, right? So let's see, I gotta load in my astro weather screen page. I'm working on this, guys. There's so many buttons and things you push and blah 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 blah. This is June 5th 2020. June 5th 2020 is the first major aspect of the month, Aquarius, where we have the full moon in Sagittarius. We have the delightful energy of Sagittarius, which is excited. It's pointing an arrow and letting go and saying, it's picking a mark, picking a goal. Sagittarius is the best with that. Sagittarius is a little bit like Gemini. You know, you might get the good side of them at one point, and then kind of like then they're just not there, right? But every sign has its pushes and pulls, and it's all good. We all complement each other and give each other ways to enjoy life more deeply, right? Sagittarius is a fire sign. We got a fire full moon on June 5th, and it's eclipse season. We got a lunar eclipse. Tune in and get spiritual, Aquarius. Call it in. Time to get real and look at your long-term goals. Take the time to consider other people when designing your future. So again, we're shooting the arrow, we're setting new goals, but just a good time to consider other people while doing it. Now there's a lot going on, so we're going to flip right to it. From June 5th onward to June 18th, there's not much going on except for some interesting energy with Sun in Gemini squaring Mars in Pisces. Then we have Sun in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces. The first of which, on June 6th, the Sun in Gemini, you know, this Gemini energy wants to get out, wants to talk, wants to explore ideas, right? Wants to chit chat, tick, 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 talk, 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 talk. Wants action, right? So that's squaring. It's not in flow. It's a challenge to Mars and Pisces. So that means there may be something to address. In this situation with the Sun in Gemini and Mars in Pisces, Mars doesn't feel very at home in Pisces. It can feel kind of cloudy, not really sure how it can. It's not thinking clearly, not seeing clearly, right? Mars wants to move forward and take action. Pisces is like, come with me into the waters of the spiritual realms. And Mars is like, I know what's going on. So with Gemini energy wanting to communicate, there's some sort of form of communication that wants to happen, but with Mars and Pisces, it's just not really clear, right? So it's just kind of like someone wants something, but things aren't clear. That's the energy there. June 11th, same thing, Sun in Gemini, same energy of wanting to communicate, but it's squaring Neptune in Pisces this time. And Neptune in Pisces is the home position of Neptune. So very spiritual, very deep, very innovative. It's really about as deep as you get into being able to tap into the spiritual realm. So with Sun in Gemini, it can be that this Neptune and Pisces energy is a little spacey, or it could actually be something really constructive in the sense that for some people, they might be able to really tap into some really powerful spiritual insight, right? Spiritual guidance from the other realm, so to say, right? So keep an eye open for that. If you are looking for spiritual guidance, if you are looking to contact your spirit guides, June 11th is the day. Now, a week later, on June 18th, we've got Mercury retrograde in Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Mercury retrograde alert, beep, beep, beep. This is from June 18th until July 12th. Most of you have heard of Mercury retrograde on some level, I would assume. Mercury retrograde is not a time to move forward with things. It's a time to complete things. It's also a time to review and make sure everything's dialed in regards to your communications, to travel. You don't want to sign contracts. It's a good time to triple check everything is really kind of the basics, right? So Mercury retrograde in Cancer, the energy here is how can we think clearly when our emotions are turned up to 11? It's going to take focus to see things for what they really are, an opportunity to purify our emotional balance with reality. So Cancer is all about feelings and emotions and home and family. So issues and communications about nurturing, taking care of yourself, taking care of others, home and family, home issues coming up, right? So just be clear. If you have anything that you want to initiate it before June 11th or June 18th, preferably the first 2 weeks of June at the latest, and then wrap it up during that time period between June 18th and July 12th. Not a good time to start something off. Let's see here. June 20th, the Sun enters the sign of Cancer. Happy birthday, Cancers. So generally you're going to see the themes, the overall feeling turn into this Cancerian feeling of, again, love, nurturing, home and family, more of a sensitive speaking from your emotions, right? But Mercury's retrograde in Cancer. So again, there's an opportunity for some interesting conflicts or miscommunications to occur. We want to feel love, we want to feel nurtured, we want to be nurturing, that kind of energy. A day later, on June 21st, we have a new moon in Cancer and an annular solar eclipse. The gas pedal is pushed on an already emotional month. We reach its height and we see what we're made of here. It could be a peak moment in this multiple planet retrograde, Mercury retrograde Cancer cycle, right? So we got, by the end of this month or during this month, we'll have up to 5 planets in the retrograde position. We got this Mercury retrograde. So this will be kind of more of a peak. This could be a peak energy around this stuff. Retrograde's always about stepping back, going within, not outwardly acting, but managing and dealing with our own inner reality, right? 2 days later, June 23rd, we have Neptune retrograde in Pisces until November 29th, so pretty much the rest of the year, Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. Let's all meet at Planet Hollywood in the 16th dimension and order me a wake-up call. I'll be there in negative 15 minutes. What the fuck? I don't know. All we needed was another planet retrograde. Following the 3 from May and Mercury retrograde in Cancer, we now find the majority of the planets in the retrograde position as Neptune joins the party in WTF Pisces. Don't believe damn thing you think, feel, or imagine, or you're sure to mess something up. So the energy here is that Neptune is this beautiful spiritual insight, right? And it's going into this retrograde position, so there's going to be a lot of reflection on that type of energy. But the shadow side of Neptune can also be deceit, right? And it can also be fantasy that we have to be careful not to fall into, right? So it's kind of the rose-colored glasses, and we have to be aware of the truth of the situation, so we're not putting ourselves in situations where we get in harm's way, right? So lots of spiritual insight here. I think it's going to be really powerful for the community as a whole, because it's almost like reading this powerful download of spiritual and divine insight, but it's up to us we're reflecting on this, right? So we're getting in touch with this within ourselves, not necessarily so much an outside position, right? So kind of transforming our connection with the divine within. And this is really powerful considering all these things that are going on in the world right now. I kind of get this sneaking suspicion that, we kind of have like the forces that be, light and shadow is not good or bad per se. They're creative polarity. They're creative forces that work together to kind of enhance and push us into our spiritual development, right? So sometimes we have to look at dark stuff within ourselves and confront dark stuff in front of us, in ourselves. And, when we are in stagnation or suffering, that pushes us to take action and move forward. That's the power of the shadow, right? So it's not good or bad per se, but it does point you in the right direction, and you do want to move in the right direction, right? You don't want to just say, oh, well, shadow's great, I'm just stagnate there. That's missing the point, right? So I feel like even though there's this shadow side that's kind of really arising in a lot of ways, people confronting their angers and stuff like that, it's giving everyone the opportunity also to recognize that it's their power to choose, that they are not their thoughts, feelings, and emotions. They are persistent consciousness, right? So when we recognize we're not our thoughts, feelings, or emotions, that we have a choice in how we position our mind, right? And that we're able to make choices that stimulate our emotions in ways that are most constructive to connect with our other people and to take care of ourselves, then we're empowered as people, right? We're not having knee-jerk reactions every time we read something on Facebook or someone has some fear-based conversation with us, right? We're not like freaking out, So anyway, to make a long story short, is that I feel like even though that shadow side's here right now, there's a lot of intense energy, there's also a lot of contrast to that. And this Neptune retrograde in Pisces can possibly be a lot of really beautiful and insightful divine downloads. People kind of figuring out the truth within themselves while it's retrograde, right? Nobody can kind of censor or control that. It's something that's within ourselves. And I think that seed is going to grow. And it's going to be really interesting to see that towards the end of the year and coming into 2021, how people are going to respond to that, right? We're going to have more information, we're going to be more in tune with ourselves, and it's going to be interesting to see how people act on that. So it'll be really beautiful. June 25th, Venus again direct in Gemini. It went retrograde on May 13th. Venus went into Gemini the same day it went retrograde, so Geminis have not enjoyed the pleasures of a Gemini, Venus in Gemini. Now that's going direct, Gemini will be able to enjoy all the benefits of Venus being in their sign in forward motion, which is feeling more attractive, people being attracted to them, feeling more beautiful, transforming their look. Hopefully during the Venus retrograde cycle, nobody got into committed relationships, because when it goes direct on June 25th, you may not feel the same way as when you met them during that retrograde cycle. That's the tricky things with Venus retrograde cycle. So be careful until June 25th. Not a great time to overcommit yourself in your relationships. Not a time to run off to Vegas and get married. You may feel a lot different once shit gets settled. June 28th, we got Mars entering its home sign of Aries, finally leaving Pisces, finally getting a break. It feels much more comfortable here, feels much more empowered. Mars goes home and is feeling confident, snug, and happy. It's ready to do shit. It's time to act. Just make sure you're not doing stuff while your mind is an egg in a frying pan, meaning all these retrograde planets. Be wise, be nimble, see things for what they really are. Don't be deluded and move forward with confidence. No room for emo Joe during this Mercury retrograde Cancer cycle and his feelings about what is what. Not time to get all emo, not time to start tripping out. Mars wants to move forward, Mars wants to take action, and it's a good time to, as long as we're clear, right? We got that Neptune, we got that Mercury retrograde, we got all this stuff. So be clear about what's what, move forward with confidence, and be mindful. Not a time for emotionalness on everything. Last of the month, June 30th, we got an interesting gang up here. We have retrograde Jupiter that's just entered the sign of Aquarius recently, conjunct retrograde Pluto in Capricorn. So Jupiter is going to be backing it up, coming back out of Aquarius, and this is going to be a repeat of some of the energy that we saw towards the end of last year, before Jupiter left. So usually this is kind of a revisit. This is the Pluto and Capricorn energy is transformations of old structures, right? Capricorn's old structures, legacy structures, bureaucracy, old government, old structures within ourselves. So this is kind of that last turn for these planets to kind of back up and revisit these lessons that we've already been through, right? I just realized I was off camera the whole time. Anywho, that is the general theme of what's happening for just general astrological weather for the month. That said, let's get back to the main view. Where's my cards at? I gotta get my cards. They're there. Where are cards? Aquarius. It's the age of Aquarius. Coffee's amazing. We're going to flip up some cards. We're going to check out the general energy for Aquarius for the month of June 2020. And these are general, archetypical aspects of the soul's journey. Tarot is the major arcana of the Tarot is the story of the soul's journey on the earth. First starting coming to earth and then kind of mastering the earth towards the end. Right? So during this journey, we're constantly learning about new steps along the way, getting more skillful in how to address it. There's a beauty in innocence, and there's a beauty in wisdom, right? And knowledge. There's a boredom in knowledge and wisdom, right? And there's a threat in innocence, right? So we see both sides of the picture, right? And we understand that wherever we are is perfect. It's exactly where we need to be, right? But we never get comfortable there, knowing that there's still things to achieve. So it's a journey that's completed before it ever begins, so to say, right? So that's the general theme of our spiritual journey here. All right, let me flip up a couple more here. And let's flip over to our Tarot view is what I'm going to be calling it. Tarot. What's this? What's this? Oh, it's my keyboard. Oh, Tarot. Okay, so Tarot view. Oh God, I love this red velvet, but it just flies everywhere. Get over here. It's like on a slippery surface. And I was thinking there's got to be like little pads you could buy. Ah, cards flying everywhere. Get back here. Now this is, get over here. Oh, one card, we got a flipper. Whenever we get a flipper, that's the main reading card. So there you go. Strength, there's your card for the month. Now strength is all about conquering the inner adversary, right? Let's turn this darker a little bit, right? It's conquering the inner adversary. That lion is symbolic of the portion of us inside who's hungry. When like when they're hungry, it's like, feed me, Seymour, right? And then it's the part of us that gets angry. It's the part of us that wants attention, right? It's the part of us that's kind of primal, right? It's the part of us that we really don't have any control over. A dog's chasing us, right? And all of a sudden we jump, 18 feet over a wall, right? I got chased by a dog one time when I was young, and on my skateboard, and it was about to bite me. It was a big Doberman Pinscher, and I didn't even plan on it, but I just belted out a really, really loud scream, right? And when I did that, the dog ran off squealing. Oh my God, I had no idea I had that power. And it was primal. Had nothing to do with my own decision-making process, okay? So all that said, let's flip it and reverse it. flip it and reverse it. Okay, so we got 3 piles here. Un, dos, tres. We always take the second, drop it on the un, back to the tray. We have the nature of the reading here. Oh, this fabric's driving me nuts. Let's check out what the influence is here. There's fast-forwarding movement here. What's influencing this needing to cultivate yourself? Well, there's a lot to consider. There's a lot happening, right? So we have to really tame ourselves. We have to tame our emotions while we go through this process. We have to look at, now here's your card from the spiritual realms. This is the message from the angels. This is the message, this is your totem for the month, that at any point when you're not feeling clear, you just think back to this card and the message, right? So we'll get over there in a second. Recent past, coming out of tensions and struggles with other people. This is your subconscious placement. That's what's truly motivating you in the situation, whether you're conscious of it or not. In the upcoming future, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Your attitude is transformation. It's the Death card. This is the card of transformation. Your environment is the Hanged Man. Things are kind of feeling a little bit stagnant, but for you, they're moving forward fast. Your greatest hopes and greatest fears is that you have the opportunity to really reflect on things before you make any big decisions. And your outcome card, you have the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is somebody who's a little bit guarded, a little bit self-protective. You've been through some shit. Let's see what's going on, Aquarius. What the fuck's going on with Aquarius? Strength card. Let's look at some symbology here. Strength card is all about courage, patience, control, compassion. You're learning to have compassion for the situation. 8 of Wands. It's all about action, forward movement, swift change. So something's changing for you, Aquarius. Something's moving forward quickly, and you're finding, or you're quickly becoming a very compassionate person. So this is gonna be different for everyone. Apply it as you best see fit. Now, coming from the divine realms, coming from the spiritual realms, coming from where your soul, your spirit is truly from, you're getting a message of the moon. The moon is, from the major arcana, indicates a key point in our lives. This is saying, be aware of illusion. Be aware of your anxiety, right? Now this ties in perfectly with the strength card, because here we are, we're petting that anxiety, we're petting that fear, right? It's symbolized by the lion, right? So be aware of your anxiety. And the message here is really simple, is that just because you may see things a certain way doesn't mean it's necessarily true, right? And we don't want to continue to respond to situations out of fear and anxiety and keep creating more issues or problems, correct? Or, shit's getting shrill out there, right? So this could be like, hey, turn off your phone, stop tripping fucking hard, right? So things aren't what they seem. Tame that bitch. Recent past, you have the 10 of Wands in reverse. 10 of Wands is growing tensions. When it's upside down, those tensions are being relieved. So finally, some tensions are being relieved and things are moving forward. It's good energy. Just don't trip. Don't trip. Subconscious realms. This is what's truly motivating you right now in this situation, whether you're conscious of it or not. This is what you truly believe to be true, or truly believe you need, or what you're aware of. This is the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is, there's a certain level of luxury here. There's a certain level of abundance and richness here that you're looking to cultivate in your life, right? Like, we can't just live our lives, just with a sense of poverty or something huge missing. We need to slowly work on creating that richness and that love, and that forms deep from within inside of ourselves. It's building up our reserves, right? It's sleeping well, it's eating well, it's having something to offer, right? So you want to create more of a posh, comfortable place for yourself in your life in general, right? Upcoming future, you have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, another major arcana. When it's in reverse, there's some sort of a feeling of being out of control or some kind of negative forces. Now, I really believe that these are the forces that we're experiencing right now outside in the outer world. Lots of really intense energy trying to pull people into this very dark, negative view on life, and then trying to tell people that it's the new normal, right? the new normal. It's this negative, fearful way of living. And so be careful as you walk out into the world. You're gonna have to be really mindful and really calm this beast, so to say. Your attitude in this situation is great. You're saying, well, fuck it, you know, all this shit's happening around me, all this transformation. Death is the card of transformation. It's the Plutonic card of we're going from one form to another. So your attitude is, I'm ready to do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. So fantastic. You're ready to go. Environment around you is the Hanged Man. Hanged Man is life in suspension. Things are, it's not a time to move forward, it's a time of reflection. So, but this is your environment, right? So around you, things are just kind of suspended. It's kind of that way for everyone right now, right? Greatest hopes and greatest fears is the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is having time to prepare for things, having foresight, doing the research ahead of time, right? So your greatest hopes and greatest fears is that you're not going to have the time to really reflect on things and be prepared to move forward with skill and mindfulness. But you don't need to worry about that. It's a matter of your choice. Things are slow right now, and don't worry about it. Just take the time, go slow to move forward. Your outcome card is the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is somebody who's a little bit protective of themselves. But this is also the card of courage. Going out there, being resilient, standing out on your own, doing the hard work, and nurturing yourself through the process. So this is just basically saying is, you know, be mindful, do the research, but, you know, like protect your goods, you know, like lock your door, you know, trademark your shit, you know, whatever it's going to take to move forward, knowing that you're protected, because like I said here, you know, there's some negative energy out there right now, and you're gonna have to like really protect your mind, protect your resources, protect what you have to offer, not in a negative way or a frightened way, but in a way of being mindful, right? So like somebody with wisdom is gonna take the time to say, you know, hey, I'm in this particular type of neighborhood, you know, the crime rate's like this here, I probably shouldn't leave my computer in the car, right? It's just practical common sense, right? Just having and this applies to every aspect of our lives. This could be, you know, be protective of who you let into your heart. Be protective of who you let into your mind, right? What you let into your mind, right? So in general, this is just balancing that energy out of realizing that, you know, yeah, you can be beautiful and open. You're an Aquarius, right? But there's a lesson in all that, you know? It's better to have two people in your life that really support and nurture you than 10 people and 8 of them are kind of, you know, robbing your house while you're gone, right? That kind of vibe. So be mindful. Those are general themes for Aquarius for the month of June 2020. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me. I do live streaming tarot readings. You can come on. It's just like and subscribe and turn on notifications. When I go live, you'll be notified. You can come in, get a free tarot reading. And I always appreciate a like and subscribe. I don't know what to say, guys. I hope you guys have a good month. It's kind of wacky out there, but just remember, the spiritual work is inside of you. It's not happening out there in the world. You know, there's hate bait, there's fear bait all day long. People perpetuate the speaking points. People create their whole identity around these fearful and hateful speaking points that they see online. And then they want to get you wrapped up in that shit too, right? So this is a time in society where we're going to fucking transform this shit and really get real about creating harmony. And that's an inside job, right? We're all going to live more spirited and a healthful lifestyle where we're not consumed by this idea that the world's going to shit, because it's not. It's the appearance of the end times. It's not the end times, all right? So let those fearful people die off into their own worlds. You don't need to perpetuate it. You don't even need to fight with them, right? But stand up, represent harmony. Only harmony begets harmony, okay? You can't be angry and expect harmony to come along the way, right? So we love, we create and cultivate resources within ourselves, and then we're abundant, right? With richness and spirit. So until next month, thank you so much, Aquarius. Hang in there, do God's work, spread the love, and I'll see you soon. Thank you much.